Hello everybody, I am back in my trusty Web Manuals hoodie. I am so happy to be here with you today because today is a special day. Today is the day that we are officially feature complete in the new Reader app, and I am so excited to get it out in your hands. We are of course still quality assuring and we are still polishing as well and getting it pre-approved by Apple. Today, this video of course will be about the new Reader app, and I will be talking about some of the new features that we've added to the app, the new functionalities, and a little bit of oldies but goldies as well that we've reworked. So it won't be all features in the entire suite, but it will be the ones that I have selected and I think are interesting for you to see. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get on with the show. In this new app, we have changed the download size a little bit to make the downloads come down a lot smoother, faster, and taking less bandwidth. So all files have now been made 25% to 50% smaller, thereby easing the download. This video is focused on the iPads. Of course, the app also works for iPad mini and iPhones as well. For those devices, the UI has been changed a tiny bit to make it easier for small screens and to make things just more intuitive. We will be releasing a video for those devices a little bit after launch. Movie magic just happened, and now I have an iPad stand. Ta-da! That's what some of the magic we can do here, isn't it magnificent? With this iPad stand, I also have an iPad where we will dive in and have a look at some of the features. Here we are at the domain screen, and as you can see here, this is where you put in your domain, or what used to be the customer ID. We've just renamed it a little bit internally. So here at the domain screen, type in your customer ID or your domain, and you will be taken to the login screen. For the login, let's log in. I'm logging in as Eric. No, I haven't changed my name. It's because Eric is the prime developer of the app. And we'll just log in quickly here. There we go. There we go. And we can then log in. The whole point here is also that with the new app, we can of course save credentials. We've got reset password as we've seen before, but we also have the offline mode, and the offline mode works in a little bit of a different way now. We will have a look at it when we get to settings as well, but I just want to touch in on it now. The system will be able to recognize offline mode in a much better way. You can even define that you want offline mode to be active in case the device is not on Wi-Fi, which should just make your life a lot easier, especially if you don't want the pilots to work on 3G, 4G, or 5G. But without further ado, let's jump in and press login. Boop. Dashboard. Welcome to the dashboard. Here we've changed a few things and we've kept some of the good old stuff. We still have tags. We still have operational critical. We've cut it down a little bit to make it a little bit more nice. And for operational critical, we have download all, and we also added have the view all button that shows us all the operational critical documents that we need to download. For unread documents, we have it right there on the dashboard as well. We can see that in this case, we have one unread document, and we can click view all. You will also be able to see it on the top bar on the left side. If you have the bar activated, you can see that you have one unread document there as well on the little badge. When I click view all, we can then see that which document we need to download and read, of course, to check it out. The icons that you can see, the star, the little check mark, and the download button, I'll go through a little bit later. But here we also have filters and even a download all button if you want to make sure that you download all the documents that you need to read. Moving on to the next part. And the last one is a new thing that we added. It's our document summary. It allows us to see how many documents are actually available for us and how many we still need to download. Also, how many of the documents we have that actually has updates available that we need to download, which should just, again, with tying into the dashboard, help you and your users get a very easy overview of what is it I still need to do. What do I still need to do to be compliant? We can click View Downloaded to see all the documents that are downloaded on the device. We've had the question, how do I see a full list of everything that's downloaded? Now you can do that. And View All will give us a list of all documents that are available for us to see and download. So we can now get this beautiful long list of all the documents that are available. We can see which ones are currently downloaded, being them completely or having them completely black in color, and the undownloaded ones in gray. And now for something completely different, because we've added a new feature or new functionalities to this. We added icons. We added the star, as you can see, which is of course our favorites, so you can easily see which documents are your favorites. We added the little check mark here as well, which means that these are documents that needs to be checked out via active checkout. We also added an icon for the quiz checkout. And lastly, we added the little download button on the side, that is the arrow. And if you have downloaded a document already, you can simply click the triple dot menu here on the side, where you can then remove from documents or completely delete documents. Remove from my documents is of course the favorite size feature. And of course we can download everything if we want to do that. And we added filters. Clicking the filters will allow you to sort your documents by name, revision, publish date, and ascending and descending as well. So it's going to be a lot easier for you to get the overview that you need, with of course the written filter as well for ease of use. Hopefully a lot of you will enjoy this. This functionality with the filtering, with the icons and everything will just be repeated on all lists of documents, which we will dive into a little bit now. Because out here on the side, as you can see, we've added a new menu functionality. We added this beautiful gray menu. It can actually be hidden from settings. We'll talk about that a little bit later. If you hide it, you have the menu on top as well, just like in the olden days, where you will see the menu that now folds out and over. So you can decide which type of menu you want, if you want to use the icons on the fold out. Switching to documents gives us the exact same category structure that we have in the browser, but now on the iPad. Of course, you can still open and close categories. We've now written in a category if it's empty to make it clear. We've also added the filtering options. You can see here that you can sort by default, name, revision, published, ascending and descending as well. And of course use default where it pulls the standardization from the browser settings as well. We can add the filter where we can search for a document as well. Say manage, and we'll see we have two categories matching manage, and we have a host of documents that matches manage as well. So it's going to be a lot easier to get to the documents you need to get to. Also, when we see a category like this, we could also do it from the list. If I long press it, it will actually ask me if I want to download two documents. In this case, we'll say no. But it's because when I go in, you can see in management, we've already downloaded one of them. The other two are still waiting. So it will be a lot easier for us to download documents if we need them. In general, just a much smoother and easier way of traversing categories and finding your documents. So it's very simple to see where do we actually have content. Lastly, or second to last, we have compliance libraries. Now we have compliance libraries straight in the app, allowing us to choose a compliance library and seeing all the connections that we've made to it. It should really make it so much easier to give the information to the users should they need it, and actually see what have we connected everything to. So I hope you enjoy that part as well. For compliance libraries, be aware that they only work when you are in online mode. And the reason for that is the download would be pretty immense if we were to download all of our compliance libraries to the device. So they will load via online mode. And down here, we have the new announcements that we also added in a few months ago. Now announcements will be on the devices as well. It will be available for the readers to receive the announcements, and also via push notifications know if there's anything they need to react to. Speaking of push notifications, we have updated the push notifications to a much greater degree, thereby actually allowing you to push documents to the devices much easier. Same thing with new updates. So you will notice that your push notifications will be a lot more active, and the documents will actually be auto-downloading on the devices. And we're looking forward to getting that in your hands as well. The last icons that we see down here are actually, or the next ones at least, are the pages that you can create. So for example, we created one that is the EFB content page testing, is for our EFB content testing. We have one that's a form that's running, a feedback form as well, compliance data and so forth. It's the same content pages as you can build in the browser, and they will of course also spill into the devices now. Last but not least, down here, new functionalities that we added: recent documents. These are documents that we recently opened, and here we can very quickly jump back to where we were. So now we have a functionality that allows us to see documents that we've been working in and that we've had opened. So it should really allow you to access this data much faster. And last but not least, of course, our list of my documents, or favoritized documents, where we can see exactly what have we marked as our own documents that we can easily and quickly access. And here we can see the icon for the quiz as well, the little question mark. Now we've changed the reader quite a bit. We've added quite a slew of new functionalities to it. Because when we started rebuilding the old one just to the standard of what we had, we'd taken in so many good ideas throughout the years, and had so many good improvement suggestions, and there are some of them that are really close to our heart that we really wanted in. So starting at, we just want to create what we have, turned into, let's add all of these cool features, and more will come, I promise. Let's have a look, shall we? Here in the reader, we've added, first off, a really cool little top bar that allows you to see which heading are we working in right now, what's the top heading of the page, and or at least the name of the page and the page number. We also added the little arrow that you can see on the left side. If we click that now, it will take me back to where we came from, and if I click forward, it will take me forward to where I was. And now I can navigate between my previous navigations, which allows me to very simply and easily get to where I was and hopefully where I want to go. And if we can find anywhere, if we click on a link here, knowledge, it will take us there. And if I click back, it takes me back to the table of content. This is something a lot of people have been asking for a long time, and now you have your arrow navigations. On the other side of this, we have the little square here. Clicking that will maximize our content to the screen, allowing us to really utilize the full potential of especially the bigger iPads. Out on the right side, we have a little functionality bar. You might know it from the browser reader. We have comments, where we can add comments to a page if we want to do so. We have the favorites, so we can add a favorite or add this page as a favorite page. And last but not least, the rotate button. So now we can rotate the page, allowing us to, for example, show a flowchart much more easily. Also, for you who've got fixed devices in your cockpit, this really should help you as well. Moving on to reading in general, we can swipe pages just like normal, and when we swipe pages, notice down here at the bottom we have a very cool and nifty progress bar that expands or compresses depending on what we're doing, thereby making it very easy to know where you actually are in this specific document. And talking about navigation, we added these cool and nifty navigation balloons. You can see them here. I can move them up and down. I can also click them and thereby use them to navigate pages. They're made to fit your thumbs, so if you have a different hold on your device, you can move them up and you can use them from here, or you can move them down depending on how your sitting position is. Let's say that I need more. Let's say that I need to switch between changes in a document easily. Well, we can just pull up our change buttons as well, good. And we can use those if we had any changes in the document. Same thing for the chapters. If we wanted to navigate chapters super quick, I could add those. Now it's starting to get a little bit flooded here with navigation balloons on this device. So let's remove a few of them again. So for chapter buttons, we just move them down here till they turn red and release, and boop, it will just pop the balloon and it'll disappear. Let's do it for the other one as well. Boop, and it's gone as well. Much easier navigation, and we can just take away the things we don't want and need. And if these are annoying as well, you can just remove those if you don't want any of them. In short, to make it very clear, the system remembers the settings you've had, and it will just make your experience the same throughout. So the page navigation settings we put on one document will follow to other documents, thereby making it a lot easier and recognizable as you're working in the reader. A few extra buttons we added. We have the print button in the bottom right corner. Clicking print will now allow you to print an entire manual if you so need, instead of just a single page. And I see you out there, don't worry, you can of course turn off print if you don't want to have it. And on top of that, we can also turn off any type of copying as well, so you can't mark and copy content either. So just adding a little bit of extra layers to the security as well if you need that. In the bottom left corner, we have a new button down there, boop. And on the first tab here, we have table of contents, expandable, of course, if you so need to, and it will remember as well. We have pages, expandable as well, and it will remember our settings. We have our favorite pages, and last but not least, we have our annotations. Remember, annotations are personal, and they can either be sorted by page, and a new functionality that somebody asked for, also on color. Because in some cases, you might use your annotation colors to sort them to yourself, depending on either importance or topic or anything like that. And now you can actually sort your annotations in a very, very nice way, using the colors as well. So I hope you enjoy that and have fun with it. Let's talk about searching, shall we? In the document itself, we can do a search, and we can also do a search from outside. If we do it from the document itself, we can click the search button, and here we can search in our current document. We can search for pilot, good, and it will search our pilot, and we'll see pilot hits right here. As you can see here, it's actually sorted right now on the page numbers, and that's because we in the filter have set it to search by title. We can also search by relevance, and this will then change, and the system will then set it up as it reckons, or as our system has been built to reckon what is the closest to the hit that you wanted. Of course, we can set it up to exact match or switch it to a little bit of a broader match as well. This is completely up to you. The cool thing is, if I choose one of these, I will then go to a page, and it will highlight all the hits for me on that page, but I will also be able to navigate to the next hit. So now I can actually go between pages that has search hits, or I can go back again with the thumb buttons. So with this, it's extremely simple to traverse through the document only with the search hits, and only hitting the pages with search hits. So I hope you will enjoy that, and it will make your life a lot easier. Going back to search, clicking the search button, if I click all documents, and then we do a search for pilot again, there we go. Now, clicking all documents, we will get hits in all of the documents. As we can see, it says we have 7 documents that has a hit. We'll do the flight crew training manual, click, and it will take us to the flight crew training manual. This is a PDF file. So it has a little bit of a different navigation functionality. The navigation balloons doesn't work, but it does have the well-known icons down here that you can use to navigate through, or you can use the old standard navigation buttons. We still have print if so need. We still have rotate the screen. We still have the search functionalities on top. And at the bottom, we have the table of contents and favorites, because now you can make PDF pages favorites. It's very nice, and it happens up here. So now I added that as a favorite, and we can see in favorites now, we have page 37. Closing favorites, we also have the thumbnails, where you can go through all thumbnails of your PDF file if you so desire. So hopefully you enjoy that. By the way, one more thing to search, because if you're in dashboard, you are not in a document, and you don't want to have any information on document search. So if I click search from dashboard, it will only give me hits on all documents. So the system now knows and understands where you are at and what is the most likely thing you need to access and you need to see, and we try to hide the rest. That's all. We will now move on to something else. A new thing we added in this new app is one of the main reasons we actually created the app, and that is the ability to hold and use tabs. So we can now use tabbed documents, which will allow you to easily switch between documents you currently have open. So let me demonstrate. In this scenario here, I have two documents open and I have my dashboard. And I can look at this document and I can switch to the SMS manual by clicking the top tab like that, easily navigating between those two documents. And if I so desire, I can add more documents, opening up documents and then adding a safety management system demo document that will then load up. And now we have three documents open at the same time. You can see that we're getting a navigation bar at the top. I can click the arrow to the left or right to actually adapt the view to that. And if I'm done reading a manual, or I don't want that top bar to be longer than I needed, I can actually shut down documents again, and I can do that, or tabs again, and I can do that by clicking a tab and dragging down, and it'll do a little shake, and then I can release and it will disappear, and that way I can reduce the number of tabs that I currently have open. Let's talk about the last two buttons we have in the top right menu. We've talked about search. We have two more. One is a very simple one, refresh, and it will simply refresh the document. It will contact the server if it can, and it will ask, is there anything new? So we can force a refresh. Of course, with our new push notifications, this can be quite automated, but if you haven't activated push notifications or you don't allow them, then of course this will need to be used more actively. In general, refresh will just ask for any news on documents that you've downloaded, or documents you need to read, or operational critical, and all of that good stuff. So enjoy that. The last button is our settings, and we have really expanded settings to a great degree. Clicking on that, you will notice that I'm both logged in as Eric and Richard at the same time. So I am now the perfect human being. With that said, let's talk about brightness, shall we? Our brightness slider will allow us to really turn down the brightness very heavily, or turn it all the way up so you can burn out your own sinuses. It's up to you. Just to show you, if I turn it all the way down, we can still see things, but it's quite dark on the device. This we will talk about more a little bit later, because I know it's not enough, and some of you are already screaming, what about dark mode? It's coming. It's right down here. Patience, 5 more buttons and we'll talk about it. Offline mode, where you can just set your device in offline or online mode if you so desire. And this can be automated a little bit as well. I teased it earlier and we'll talk about it. Edit account allows you to set all your user settings depending on how the settings are set up from your admin side. Application settings, this is new stuff. Here we can set the device name. We had that before as well. The following functionalities can be selected on admin side and thereby just automatically selected for the devices. We have not done that here because I want to talk about it. You can leave it up to the devices themselves, which is what we've done. So here we can choose which documents are automatically updated when they are updated in web manuals. All the downloaded documents that we have, or only the operational critical. Only operational critical is how we had it in the old app, and now you can choose to have it for all your documents as well, if you so desire. Also, when is a device online? Is it when you have Wi-Fi and cellular or cellular connection, or is it only when you have Wi-Fi? We have users that do not want to risk downloading documents and data if they are on a cellular connection. Now we can tell the device itself, you are only online if you actually have Wi-Fi. That should make your lives a lot easier. We can of course wipe the application data. We've seen that in the old app as well. And now we have the toggle shortcuts. I teased this earlier as well. Toggle shortcuts is the sidebar that we have out on the side. If I go back into application settings and I turn it off, you will see that your sidebar disappears. So now, ta-da, you can have the full screen like you had before, and you can use the menu button in the top left corner. You play the game the way you want to play it. And last but not least, we can see which time zone you're in via the admin side. So what time zone are you perceived as being in on admin? With that said, let's move back and go to About, which is a little bit more simple. It just shows us the version you're in, a little bit of copyright data, and the device app ID. That can be important for troubleshooting. Now let's talk about theme, because in theme you can now choose system, light and dark. Setting it to system, it's very close to light. Setting it to light is very close to system. Setting it to dark makes it very much dark mode. And our dark mode in the app and the documents themselves, we actually have a full we are actually changing the colors, so we have a definition of what colors should things be. So we are defining them, and thereby we can control it to a much greater extent. Images and logos, we're not doing anything with. We're putting a dark filter on it, or we are dimming them down, so the images will stay the images that you know. We won't reverse colors on them. We think that's quite important, because if an image has a green color, it will be something else, and green has a specific meaning, or red has a specific meaning. With the PDF file in dark mode, it uses the same color scheme as the web manuals documents. There is one note to that, and that is the images, because the images are actually inverted on the color, and we do that to be able to make sure that they are still valid, and we don't want to mess with them too much. So be aware that your images will have an inverted color scheme on them. Besides that, when you're working on the device here and you use the both dark mode and your brightness slider, as we're moving up and down now, if you turn brightness down to the darkest that you can have, and are also working in dark mode, you will have an extremely dark view, and you won't be able to see anything on the screen unless you are in a very, very dark environment, which also prevents you from, as you're navigating through your documents, you won't have a virtual bat signal going off in your cockpit. Log is a new functionality that we've added. The log will give you an idea of what is going on. So here we can see all the data that we've downloaded. All documents that we've downloaded, we can see what day, what time, when it happened. So getting a very good idea or overview of what have we done and when. In actions down here at the bottom, we can see everything we have sent to the servers, to the database, and what it was. You can see here I've added pages to favorites. It could also be form responses. It could be checkout data, anything like that. So anything you're doing that you're sending to the server, we also store and keep that in a log to make you to just have that data available for you in case you need it. Help. will take you, you see that link, it will take you to our help center, and log out will log you out. And that concludes a quick run through of the new functionalities in the app. More to come, and we are looking forward to it. Enjoy. Since this video is primarily for iPads, as I mentioned in the beginning, we will of course be creating a video for iPad minis and phones as well, so that you can easily see and be guided through the differences. You know what? This Reader app, we've been working on it for the better part of 2 years now, and it's with a special feeling in my heart that we're getting ready to send this out. We are a lot of people who are really excited, and we've put in so much effort in getting this ready, and it's just an exciting time for us. And going on from this, we want to really make sure that the Reader app gets the love and attention that it needs. That ties into, of course, our release plan for the future. We will have fewer developers dedicated to the app to begin with, at least, meaning that I can't do a monthly release cycle like we have for Web Manuals Core, but we do intend to have a 2-month release cycle for the app, at least to begin with, meaning that every 2 months we will push out an update, bug fixes, improvements, small, cool, nifty things that we can squeeze in there, and maybe sometimes a big chunky thing that will add a huge impact for a lot of you. But what I'm saying is that our goal and expectations are that we will really be focusing on getting in useful and regular improvements to the app to keep it alive and to help the community and help all of you. So keep your improvements coming in, be active on Go Digital wherever you are in the world, and just help us know what it is you need, and we'll keep building and making all this cool stuff. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I truly hope that you enjoy the app. Enjoy.